All right, number one, it says that Chelsea was offered a job of an annual salary of $50,000. That's her annual salary. First question is this salary gross or net? Well, when someone says what their annual salary is, they typically are talking about their gross. So A is gross salary. Question B. Calculate Chelsea's potential net monthly income from this position. Show each step and label your work. Her net yearly income can be taken by taking her gross salary and multiplying it by 70%. That would give $35,000. That's how much money she would make a year in her pocket. It wants the net monthly income. So from there, that's the net for the year. Let's figure out what a net paycheck is. If she's paid every 2 weeks, which is what the question says, simply take the salary, the net salary, divided by how many paychecks you have. If you're paid every 2 weeks, that means you're going to get paid 26 times because there's 52 weeks in a year. If you divide that, you're going to end up with $1,346.15. That's how much one paycheck is worth. The question that's being asked, what is her net monthly income? A normal average month has 2 paychecks. So you take how much money you make from one paycheck and you multiply it by 2. So her net monthly income would be $2,692.30. Part C. What should Chelsea include in her irregular income from this position? Explain your answer. Irregular income. Let's talk about that. 10 months of the year, she's going to get 2 paychecks. Ten months of the year, she gets 2 paychecks. 2 months of the year, she's going to end up getting the same 2 paychecks, but she's going to get, in addition to that, an extra paycheck. So that means 3 months of the year, she gets 3 paychecks. So looking at this right here, if she gets 1 extra paycheck twice, that means she's going to get 2 extra pays every year. That's her irregular income. Well, we already figured out that 1 paycheck was worth $1,346.50. So therefore, 2 paychecks would be $2,692.30. The same answer that we got for her net monthly income. Not a coincidence. Question 2, she's offered a second job that pays $30.50 an hour. She's guaranteed at least 36 hours a week. That also pays every 2 weeks. Part A, calculate her potential annual gross income. Well, let me tell you what her gross is for the week first. Take how many hours she's working, 36, times what she's making per hour, $30.50. If you multiply those, you end up with $1,098. That's her gross income a week. That's before taxes and withholdings. Therefore, her gross annual, since she's paid every 2 weeks, we take that answer, multiply it by 52. I just mentioned she gets paid every 2 weeks. That's irrelevant to this question. She's making $1,098 every week, 52 weeks in a year. So she's going to end up making $57,096 in a year, gross before taxes. Part B, what is her potential net monthly income from this position? Well, we'd already figured out that her gross for the week from Part A was $1,098. Her net then for the week, to change from gross to net, we've been saying you're going to keep about 70%. So we're going to multiply this by 0.7. That gets her net weekly income $768.60. Question is, what is her net monthly income? This is what she makes a week. Her paycheck, which consists of 2 weeks, would be 2 times $768.60, which would be $1,537.20. She's paid every 2 weeks, therefore her net monthly income takes 2 of the checks she got up above, so 2 times 1537.20, $3,074.04. That's her net monthly income. Part C, I'm not going to answer this, just going to talk about it. If you were Chelsea, which position would you choose? Well, the first job, she would net $35,000. The second job, she would net, for the year, I guess I didn't figure that out. Let me backtrack. The first job, she would gross a year $50,000. The second job, she would gross a year $57,000. So the second job, she gets paid more. There's more to consider. For one, the first job is a 90-10 health dental coverage. That means that the insurance company pays for 90% and she only pays for 10%. With the second option, where she's making more money, her health insurance is worse. She pays 30% for her insurance and the insurance company pays 70%. So there's a lot more money to be paid out there. So considering those differences and considering what your personal circumstances are, it's going to determine how you answer that question. Question 3. Budget the monthly cost for each expense below. Make each expense monthly. Car insurance is $800 semi-annually. Semi-annually means for 6 months. Semi-annually means 2 times a year. So you're paying $800 twice a year. That means $800 you're paying 6 months, and then $800 you're paying for the next 6 months. So to budget for your car insurance, we just take 800 and divide it by 6. If you're paying it for 6 months, divide it by 6, and this is what you'd be paying for 1 month. $133.33. Next one, your car payment. You're paying $275 per month. What should you budget per month for that? Not a trick question. You should budget $275. Third one, gasoline, $30 per week. Well, if you're paying $30 a week, what are you paying per day? Gas per day. Take 30 and divide by 7 days in a week. That gives you about $4.29 you're spending a day. Most days in a month is 30. So the gas for the month, you're going to take what you're spending per day, multiply it by 31. Gives you $132.99 that you're going to spend per month on gasoline. That's what you want to budget. Oil, $20 every 4 months. So if it's 20 for 4 months, to figure out what it is per month, just divide 20 by 4 and you get $5 for oil. Question 4. Define and give an example of each type of expense. A fixed expense. A fixed expense is an expense that the dollar amount does not change. So every month you're going to pay the same amount for the same service. Example is a house payment. Your house payment never changes, typically if you have a fixed loan, which most people do. Car payment, another example. If you have unlimited calling on your cell phone and you make phone calls, that's fixed. Variable expense is something that varies. That's why it's called a variable. Variable means, in this context, you still have to pay this bill every month, but the amount that you pay every month could be different. Gasoline bill is a great example. Gas to heat your house is a great example. The electricity in your house is a great example. Those are all examples. Unexpected. Unexpected is a bill that you had no idea was going to happen. For example, you go out and buy yourself a nice little soda, go to the soda shop, a knife fight breaks out and you get shivved in the side. You're going to have to go to the hospital. Unexpected. Knife fights usually lead to hospital bills. Five, why is an emergency fund a critical part of making a budget that works? If you don't have an emergency fund, then you're going to take money that you allocated for something else and use it for that, which is usually going to mean you're going to be using credit cards. If you use credit cards, you might as well just go to the poorhouse. So it's really important to have an emergency fund. That way, if something bad happens you didn't expect, you can pay for it. 6, why should you do a budget? A budget allows you to control your money instead of your money controlling you. A budget will help you spend your money less. It will help you spend your money more wisely. It also will help you save money so that in the future you can buy things that you really want to buy. 7, what are some common mistakes that make a budget fail? Common mistakes. People have holes in their budget. In other words, they forget to budget for things like toothpaste or deodorant. Some people's budgets fail because they use numbers that aren't realistic. For example, saying that you're going to spend $20 a month for food. Unrealistic.